Okay, we'll get started with Helm today. So coming back to Helm. So anyone heard about Helm in Kubernetes? What is Helm?
For use for package installation.
Okay, very good. Any other input from anyone?
So Helm maintains all the YAML packages in one directory. Where you don't need to set up the same environment in the different places. You just use the same one.
Okay, very good. Fine, guys. So I'll tell you. So basically, Helm is the package manager for Kubernetes. What does mean by package manager? So if you take Ubuntu, if you take Linux machines, when I want to install something, I'm going with the command yum install HTTPD, yum install MySQL, yum install Docker, yum install Jenkins. We are going with that command, right? So basically, when I'm running the command, obviously it needs some dependency. Okay, that dependency, everything taken care by my yum repository in my local Linux machine. So earlier, before this package manager and all comes, we were using RPM only. There is a direct file we need to download from internet or somewhere. We'll have to install a RPM in my machine, Linux machine. But in order to install RPM, right, you have to address all the dependency. Only then the RPM will get installed. Otherwise, we'll have to fight with RPM. It's not an easy task. So once the yum has been introduced, right, we are very much happy that whenever I want any package, I can quickly go ahead, I can give simple command yum install blah blah. So whatever the package name, that will get installed. Similarly, for Kubernetes, we have a package manager, something called Helm. This is going to be useful in two ways. Okay, yesterday, if you remember, we were installing yum install AWS controller for ingress controller. It was installing correct. Helm install AWS controller. It was installing perfectly. That is happening through my Helm only. That kind of any packages externally you wanted to install for Kubernetes, we can install. That's one way. Second way, right, we can build our application using our Helm. We can build our application using our Helm. We can initialize the Helm, so it will bring all the dependent packages. Okay, where you don't want to write any YAML, you don't want to remember any YAML file, you don't want to maintain any YAML file in your repo or your local machine. Everything your Helm will bring. So we can just do the modification in the file. We can start provisioning our application and deployment, whatever we want. Okay. End of the day, Helm making you as much as comfortable and easier to work with the Kubernetes for the people like you and me. This is what overall. But today I'll show you a example how we are going to deploy a Spring Boot application. Okay, it's basic way of using Helm. It's very handy and very easy once you understood the logic. So anyone knows Terraform here? Any Terraform person available here?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Dinesh, Gopalakrishnan having idea. So why I'm asking?
No, I don't have any. Just a
no issues. Okay, fine. I think only Dinesh having idea. Okay. So basically, Helm literally, right, in some part of portion it will work like Terraform. Why? Because Dinesh, do you remember in Terraform we have a variable.tf file? Whichever value I will be updating in the variable.tf file, my main.tf file will refer from my variable file. You remember that concept we have seen long back?
Yes.
Correct, exactly. The Helm also work on the such a way only. We'll have a values.yaml. It literally works like my variable file. Whichever value you are updating here, right? User are supposed to update it in the values.yaml file only. My Helm main file, right, will refer all this item from my values.yaml file. It's literally gonna work like my Terraform. If people already know Terraform, it will be somewhat easy to them. If we are not aware Terraform, also not an issue. I'm just for an example comparison, I'm telling it. So nothing an issue. We can go ahead, we can learn from scratch. Fine, first I'll go through the document. Parallelly, we'll deploy that in our Kubernetes cluster as well. Okay, this is the command to install my Helm. Okay, by default, every Ubuntu machine or CentOS or whatever, they won't have a Helm installed. we have to install it. This is a curl where we'll be downloading our shell script. The shell script name should be get helm.sh. So changing the permission chmod 700 get helm.sh. So as soon as I run the command, Helm will be installed in my machine. If we wanted to check which version of Helm is there, we can run this command, which Helm. Okay, in that particular location, Helm has been loaded. Okay, first I'm going to create a one directory. Let me go inside of it. Okay, here I'm going to run this command. This will create a foundation basically. Whenever you give Helm create, Spring Boot is the user defined name. You can give any name, even you can give your name or my name. It will take. This is going to create our Helm chart. First Helm package, entire thing is going to create it. So let's run the command Helm create any name. Okay, just for an example, I have taken Spring Boot. Okay, because we are going to work with Spring Boot example today. Okay, creating Spring Boot. So now you can see Spring Boot directory has been created under the Helm test. This is a directory fresh I have created. As soon as I gave the command called Helm create Spring Boot, the Spring Boot item, Spring Boot directory has been created. Inside that you will be having many files. That's different, but still we are able to see somewhat, right? So this is how we are creating one Helm chart. Okay, inside it will have all the file, all the dependency, everything will automatically brought up by your Helm. You can't believe what are the file it will automatically bring. It will bring your deployment file, it will bring your services file, it will bring your ingress file, it will bring your volume file. So almost all the file in the Kubernetes class so far, whatever the topic you have learned, almost everything will be bought by this Spring Boot. We were learning with very much struggle, right? Understanding alarm, YAML, and all. But Helm bought everything all together. Okay. So how can we confirm that? We do have a command further to confirm. See, I'll show you. Tree and the Helm start directory name. When you give like that, it will be displaying you. But basically, we have to install tree. I think. Let me check whether tree installed in my machine. No. Okay. Let me install it. Okay. Inside that, you are getting these many YAML file. Okay, so here you can find chart.yaml is the main file. Okay, inside you have another directory called chart, but you will have these many templates. See, deployment.yaml automatically bought, services.yaml automatically bought, HPA horizontal pod autoscaler YAML, ingress YAML, okay, and service account YAML, test connection YAML, everything it's automatically created. Simple command Helm create any folder name. This is the default format of any Helm chart application. Okay, so what we will do if Helm is not there, what we will do? We will manually write all the files, correct? Deployment will do manually. Okay, services will do manually. Ingress will do manually. Service account will do manually, and HPA horizontal part autoscaler will do manually. Here everything it's bought it as a bundle without even checking with anyone. As soon as I ran the command Helm create any folder name, it's bought everything. And one file you can see separately. Okay, these files are actual deployment.yaml file. All these YAML file will not have any value hard coded. These deployment.yaml, ingress.yaml, service.yaml. when you go inside and check each and every file, right, you cannot see the files are hard coded. Inside there won't be any values. All the values, right, will be updated on this values.yaml. Dinesh, I told you, right, this is something called a literally like my Terraform variable.tf. In the values.yaml only, I will be updating all the value. For example, value means what? I wanted to use this particular image. Okay, where I'll update? I can directly update it with values.yaml. I wanted to use 5 replicas, no issue. We can update it in values.yaml. So what happens by doing in that way? Whichever deployment.yaml, in services, whatever, right? We can point them to get the reference from my values.yaml. We can point them to get the values from values.yaml. So it will be a centralized space. Values.yaml will be centralized space. In the place, right, you can update whatever value you wanted to do for your application requirement. Understood? So this is how. So we'll see each and every file how it works. Okay. The chart.yaml will have a metadata about our activity. See, I'll show you in the document itself. I have clearly mentioned. Okay, first one is chart.yaml. This file contains the metadata about our Helm chart. For example, see, it will have a API version, it will have a name, okay, description, type, version, application version. So these will defaultly take actually. So if you give cat, okay, okay, I need to get it from the side of directly. Okay, this is the content which available. Here you can find many commented sections are there. You can ignore it. You can focus only on the API version, name, description, okay, and the type, version, app version. These are the data is really matters. Literally, this is the description and metadata about your entire Spring Boot. Description and metadata about entire Spring Boot. These are the main component actually. From that chart.yaml file, this is the main component. Rest all will be commented. If you even see it in the terminal, rest all lines are got commented because they'll just give the description. Okay. So you wanted to change any API version or you wanted to update any name, everything, you can do it in this metadata file. Even if you are not changing also, there is no impact. Whichever the default value available here, it will going to take care of it. Nothing impact. It will take care with the default value. Fine. Now we'll come to values.yaml file. As the name suggests, we have to do something values.yaml. So what will happen whenever you are updating any values, the values.yaml will literally work like a variable file. User will be updating their settings about their deployment. User will be updating their input about their deployment. Everything they will do it in this values.yaml only. For example, see, you wanted to increase the replica count, you will update here. Your deployment.yaml will automatically get it from here. So Helm will work in such a way, whatever YAML file available inside the template, right? Those will be referring the value from here, whatever you are updating. The repository image. From this repository only, it has to take the Spring Boot image. Just come down, right? You can find many things. See port number. How it's going to create a service? I'm going to create with the cluster IP. Here we have given port 8080, ingress value, what value, chart.example.local. So whatever you are wanted to specify, see CPU limit, maximum limit, minimum limit, everything you can specify here. Literally, this will work on that way. YAML file is the place where user will be updating their configuration inputs. So automatically inside your deployment.yaml services.yaml, right, will be pointed here by default. You'll get the values from this values.yaml. Understood so far? Anyone has any doubt? Any questions? Try to understand the structure, why it's used, so you will understand. Any questions? Banu, Dinesh, Krishna, Balbadur, Navya,
No,
Selva, Shruti, Srini.
nothing from me.
Feel free to
The
thank. Okay, Dinesh.
secrets.yaml, config.yaml will be under the config folder, correct?
Not config folder, template. Every YAML file, right, will comes under the templates directory.
Under okay, templates. Okay.
Yeah.
We see that HPA. Did we cover that HPA? Horizontal pod. Something.
SCN means?
That HPA.
Yeah, we already discussed, right? Horizontal pod autoscaler. We have already completed. Not remember?
I need to recall it.
We have completed that. See, scaling at HPA, March 4th, we have completed that. Fine. So this is something values.yaml. So let me update it. Okay, I have updated here some red color mark, right? You need to follow that. So what I'm going to do, let me go there. Here, let me open values.yaml file. If you come, it's by default taking Nginx. I'll just overwrite it with my Spring Boot image URL. After that, if you come down, I have updated the port 8080. Let me come down. Service. Anything else? So they need to update. I think good. Let me save this file. Remaining also you can update in the same place, whichever you want. You can update it in the same place. Fine. See, now we can see next configuration. Deployment.yaml. So it will be there inside of your template directory. I mean, if you go inside of this templates directory, you should be able to see all basic YAML file, whichever we worked last, almost a month, right? So that data you will able to see it from here. Okay. So deployment.yaml, HPA, ingress.yaml, service.yaml, service account.yaml, everything we will be able to see from here. That's good. So let me open Vim deployment.yaml and I'll show you. Same as like what we are doing, same thing only, but one difference you would be able to see wherever you are getting like this. Include means it will refer. We have not directly given a value here. We are referring it from my values dot particular location. Example, I'll show you something. If we come to the deployment.yaml file, see image. There is an option called image. If we come down, under the spec only will be there, right? The image. See values.image.repository. Values.image.repository. From the value, we are asking us to take remaining. I think I can remove. Okay. So why it is showing like that? Same our YAML file only, nothing difference is here. Okay, same our YAML file only, nothing difference here. But somehow we are referring it to take it from our values.yaml. So I need to comment a few items. This not really matters, really not needed. Protocol TCP here, Linus HTTP get. Let me comment them. Really not needed. The path port readiness prog. Path port HTTP get path port. Okay, let me comment them. I think that's it. Okay, we are right now we are not going to use them, so let me go to services.yaml. Okay, this is another one. Okay, let it be. I'll just save this file. Now let me open just for your idea. Okay, services dot YAML. Here also you can find include Spring Boot selector label. Everything it will refer from values. Whatever the value we have mentioned in the open close curly, right? It will refer it from there. So you need not to confuse anything. Let it be. Okay, whatever we have updated in the main values.yaml, it will take from there. Okay. Now I came out of my Spring Boot directory. If you can see, say I'm outside of Spring Boot directory. The reason why I came out, right? So I need to run this command, run Helm template Spring Boot. So now we are really building this application. So see, you can run the above command inside the Spring Boot directory. We have to come out and we have to run. After running, it should show that you will see the services.yaml deploy.yaml connection.yaml with actual value. So basically, we have updated some values in the values.yaml file, correct? And we are also telling deployment.yaml services.yaml. I mean, inside a template, whatever the main YAML file is there, that file will get the input from my values.yaml. That is what our understanding, correct? So how it works? It works in this way. This is something my values.yaml. Literally like my variable. So we are updating all the value. So from here, my deployment.yaml tagging. From here, my means whatever the YAML file available under template. What else? HPA series one, whatever, whichever the content available in template, right? Templates directory. So we'll get the values from this values.yaml file. This is what we have understood so far. Correct. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this command Helm template Spring Boot. As soon as I run the command, right, it will show me whether all the values for this YAML file from this values.yaml whether properly taken or not. It will show you that. It's literally for verifying. Okay. So just to verify whether all the commands is properly taken or not, let me run this command Helm template Spring Boot. See, this is displaying all the YAML file. Displaying all the YAML file. First it's showing service account.yaml. This is the YAML only, we'll write it in our notepad++. If you have to remember, see this is for what? Service.yaml. Taken port 8080. See, we have updated, right? Port number, see it's taken inside of services. They come down. Deployment.yaml. Here we have updated an image, right? Let's see, image name is updated. See, whatever the image name we have updated, that has been taken. Understood? So this command is to verify whether properly all the value mapped or not. To verify that. Understood? So optional, if you wanted to verify, you can do it. There are multiple verifications available for Helm. Okay, this is one type, right? There are another one. I'll tell you. See, when you give Helm L init Spring Boot, when you give like that, what it will do, you would able to see, you know, how many failures, how many charts are printed successful. Is there any failure? It will give you count actually. See, I'll show you. This is again another simple command.
when you are giving L in it, will just tell you like how many recommended. Is there any failure happen? Is there any bug or is there any code error at the time of editing? If you are not specified properly, this will pointing you out. This is also one of the verification method. We do have one more verification also. Third, yeah, yep. Helm install Spring Boot. Okay, this is the command to install it. When I'm running this command, it will start provision the resources. But before that, we can run this debug, try run Spring Boot. When you give the command like that, it will just verify and tell you like everything is going smooth. If you simply give Helm install Spring Boot, it will start provision the resources. But before that, if we give this here, okay, it's gonna tell you notes. Everything is proper. Okay, every resource information it's going to give you. Okay, this is for just debugging the error. Is there any error? It's going to debug it. But actual command is this is the command to install it. Okay, we'll see. So whatever command we have seen, 3 commands, lint or debugging, or before that we have given right Helm command. All those are verifications only. Before going to provision any deployment or application, we are going to verify them. Literally, I can tell you in another word. Step number 5, 4, 3. Yeah, this one command number 1, and this is the command number 2, and command number 3. Literally, these 3 will going for checking is there any issue with our file. So everything looks good, right? We can go for installing the Helm now, which means we are going to provision the resources. Okay, Helm install. We are going to give the resource name and Spring Boot. I mean, we have created a directory. We have modified all the content, right? That one. See, and one thing I wanted to tell you guys, people sometimes, I don't know how many of you noticed, the application developer, right? We will ask them for a Helm package actually. Can you give me your Helm package? We'll ask them like that. Can you give me your Helm package? Can I deploy your Helm package directly? Literally, what this means, in the Spring Boot inside, I freshly installed one Helm chart. Over there, I have updated all the configuration file according to my configuration. I have updated my image, I have updated to my port, I have updated my ingress, everything I did. Right now, I even checked it with the 3 different commands. This Helm is absolutely working fine now. I checked with multiple commands. This Helm is absolutely working fine now. There is no issue in that. Correct. So now, what I'm gonna say, literally, this is a working package. I can say this is right now. So one of the Spring Boot package. I have developed the Spring Boot application. This is the working Spring Boot package. Now, I can share this package with anyone. Okay, this is something called Helm chart package. The currently one I highlighted, right? This is something called Helm chart package. If I want, I can share this with Dinesh. If I want, I can share this with other people who are there, like Gopalakrishna or Dhruti. Whoever want, I can share this a complete Helm chart right now, the Spring Boot Helm chart right now, because I have updated all the content necessary packages, port number, images, everything I have updated. When I'm sharing with them, right, once you got the Helm package from my end, you can start deploy your application without even modifying anything. You can start deploying your application. So what your deployment will do, by end of this deployment, what you will get all? You will be getting a deployment part will be created, service will be mapped, ingress will be created, respective service account will be created, high availability HPA will be added, everything complete package will be coming into your end. So this is what we are telling whenever we are asking for any application. Maybe if you work on any Kubernetes project, right, you may aware of. Usually what we will do, right, whenever customer asking for any application to be deployed, right, we'll ask them, hey, do you have any Helm chart for that? Can I try it from there? So if I'm asking Helm chart, mean all the dependency, everything is fulfilled. They have a content like this. Whatever you are seeing in the screen, they have a content like that. I can simply bought it from them. They will be updating it in the GitHub or somewhere. I can clone it in my local machine. I can simply run the command like this. I can simply run the command like that. Helm install. This is the name of my Helm chart. Okay. This is my first. Here I can give any name. This is the deployment name. I'm going to run it Helm, right? I'm giving a new name.
So once I giving it from the Helm chart, it's going to start provision my resources. If I'm sharing with this package with Dinesh or Gopalakrishna or Lal Badur, whoever, I'll be uploading the Spring Boot file in my GitHub. I'll share the URL to them. What they have to do, they have to simply download it without doing anything. After you cloning the Spring Boot directory, you have to run the command Helm install Dinesh Spring Boot. When you run the command, the deployment will begin on your machine. Because I already downloaded the fresh Helm chart, I have modified the application specific settings in my Helm chart. I have having ready-made setup of my Helm chart file. I can use it wherever I want. Understood the purpose of Helm now? Anyone
Yes.
has any doubts so far? Very handy, right? So
Yes.
mostly the application developers, and the mostly custom application developer or people whoever or internet, if we are downloading some packages where I'm going to host it in my Kubernetes, nowadays most of them giving us a Helm package only because it's very handy, very easy. I don't want to do any certain hard coding or changes, nothing. I can simply download, clone their Helm chart in my local Kubernetes machine. I can give this command simply Helm install, name of my deployment and their Helm chart name. As soon as I gave it right, it will be start provisioning the resources. It doesn't need any dependency because all the dependencies are addressed already inside of my Helm chart. It's very cool action. Easily we can provision it. So far, whatever we have learned, right? We have created Helm, created Spring Boot, everything. We have downloaded the fresh Helm chart default content. Inside, we went into YAML file, deployment.yaml file, service.yaml. We have updated according to my Spring Boot application configuration. What changes I have done? I have changes on my port number. I have changes on my image. Okay, so like I used my image, like I have did all the changes. Only then I came to the final stage. Once Helm package everything ready, I have verified everything looks good. Now I'm came to the final stage. I can use this Spring Boot in my machine, or I can give it to some other people. They will be deploying my Spring Boot application on their cluster. It will work absolutely fine. You can go with your question if you have any doubt.
So this is a predefined application. We are deploying it. Let's say other than a Spring Boot like application version 1, I want to install it in multiple environments like dev, QA, pre-production, production. Everywhere I'm installing this. So when there is a new application version number 2 released, I want to install this version. So in that case, like if I run that again the Helm chart, like how we manage these updates, like that I want to
Very
understand.
good, very good, very good question. When you wanted to install it on different environment, right? Of course, you need to go with different namespaces. So first, inside the file, right, you will have to specify your namespace. First, you are going to run it on your production, right? In your inside of your Helm itself, values.yaml or deployment, wherever you have to specify your namespace name. In which namespace you are going to execute this. Okay, so accordingly, it will provision on that particular namespaces.
Yeah, that is fine. I have a 4 namespace: dev, production, non-production, pre-production, QA. Is there 4 namespace version application version 1 already running on through Helm chart? I installed it. It is already running on all the pods. Another new version is released. How I can update that? How we can manage this?
Yeah,
How?
upgrade is coming down. Yeah, upgrade is coming down. Upgrading Helm. Okay, we'll discuss in another 10 minutes. Please wait. We have a Helm upgrade command. Any doubts so far? Discussed the topic. That is my question. Okay, I think we are good. So let me go ahead and install this. I have a package. I got it from the vendor. Just imagine like that. Helm install first Spring Boot. I gave my name. My first Spring Boot like that. Let me hit enter. Okay, it says deployment is done. Last deployment, it's deployed. Revision 01 actually, which means what? First time we are updating. In future, if you are updating and all, revision number 2, 3 will modify. Okay, that's fine. We'll discuss about it. So as of now, it's done everything. So now I'll go ahead, I'll check. There is a command to list down. Verified Helm list -a. When you give this command, see the command will give you how many Helm you have installed application through Helm, right? It will show you that information. My first Springboot namespace is default because inside the values.yaml I gave default only. Revision number 1, what date it has been updated, just now it's updated, and all those basic information, right? You will get it from here. Status is deployed. Chart is Springboot. I used this particular chart, and this is what the version app version. Okay, where I mentioned this app version initially chart.yaml file is there, right? From there it's taken. Okay, now what I will do, I am going to check whether all the resources are provisioned. This is the command kubectl get all command will help you all. I give you all the resources, but still let's see. See, my first Springboot pod has been running. Okay, this Nginx is different. That's mine. Don't confuse with that. See, it's 11 hours ago created, 75 seconds before created. And this service has been created. See, my first Springboot service 76 minutes ago. My deployment has been created. Okay, my replica set has been created. So whichever the values I have specified, right? It's everything created 76 seconds ago. So which means what? Literally, my deployment and the respective servers, respective pod, respective replica set, all the resources were created from my Springboot Helm chart. We have provisioned those resources from my Springboot chart actually. Okay, this is how we will create a resource, guys. Simple command. I'll repeat one more time. Command helm install. You can give any name, even you can give your name, my name, whatever, and the Helm chart name. Okay, when you give, it will provision the resources. So this is the command to verify whether all the resources are provisioned properly or not. That information you will get it from here. Okay, coming over here, right? I can show you some more thing, which is upgrade Helm release, which means what? So in future, you wanted to upgrade anything in your package, or you wanted to modify something on your package, or you are having latest version like that. See, whatever thing, right? In the chart.yaml inside your Springboot Helm, right? You can update it. You can go ahead, you can update them. If you wanted to update with the 2 replica count, or you wanted to change the replica image, you have a latest version of Springboot arrived. So you have created a new image, you are going to update this image, whatever, right? You can change it in the same file, either values.yaml, you know, or you can change it in the chart.yaml. Wherever you have a provision, you can update it over there. As soon as you have updated, right, what you need to do, you have to use this command actually. Helm upgrade my first Springboot. Okay, this is the name of my Helm install deployment file, right? So dot, if in the location, if you give dot, it will automatically take. So it will be updating whatever the updates you have, latest version image or whatever, it will be updated. You can even verify it. So you know, if you run this command, Helm rollback my first roll. I mean, if you want to revert the changes, you can do it, but basically that's not really matters. But however, if you give this command Helm list A, it will tell you the revision is true like that. Here you will be able to see. Here revision number, you can find it as a 2. You can update third time also, fourth time also. The command is all about Helm upgrade my Springboot dot. When you give that, it will take care of the latest file. Where you wanted to do all the changes inside the Springboot, you have to update whichever the version you wanted to modify or whatever. You can do it. You can use the command Helm upgrade this name of the Helm and dot. If you get it updated, here you can find a version is updated. After updation, if you wanted to revert the changes also, that also possible. For that we have a command Helm rollback your name and which version you wanted to roll back. If you give the version, it will bring back to your older version. This is the command to delete it. Helm delete my first Springboot, it will delete it out. Okay, this is what guys Helm is. Very simple. It's all about the way how it works for your respective application, how we are creating initially, or if you are collecting it from any vendor or any of your colleague or developer, whatever Helm package they are giving, right? You have to download it, you have to verify it, you have to start install it. That's it. So this is make our work very much simple. We don't want to spend dedicated time for deployment, services, YAML, ingress. See, last week, almost we are suffering 1 week for deploying ingress due to the version mismatch. We are going with Spring Boot, right? If everything is tested, verified, from AWS support, we are contacting, we are getting the updated version, right? If they are having Helm for this activity, we can collect the Helm from them. Give me a Helm package, let me install it. So they will be updating, they will test it in there, and they'll give me the complete package so that I can deploy it, so that we can avoid that error. All right, anyone has any doubts so far?
So my question is here, when we are updating it, so what actually behind is happening in the Kubernetes? That the previous existing pods will be killed and a new pod will be created, or new pod will first created, then existing pod will delete. How that thing happen?
Basically, when you are go for upgrading, right? If it is settings level update, means services you are changing the port number, or in ingress you are adding new one more entry. In that case, your part need not to goes down. It can update the settings as it is running on top, right? It will just update the service. It will update one more ingress value. That will happen. Say for an example, your change is huge. I mean, you are changing the complete image URL. Imagine you have a latest version of package, something you have installed. You are changing the image URL from your path. On that case, first your pod will goes down. Then it will pod will recreate it.
But in that case, production is already running on there. So you're bringing down that production server for a minute or something. That is another cost, right? It's a production down is a biggest thing.
Of course, we'll
So
go for proper downtime. Then only we'll do the change. During the change only we'll implement, right? If you think on that way, in the world nobody can't impact any change, right?
no,
Obviously, when we are doing some change
there are
activity, we
companies
can expect some downtime.
without a downtime, we can also implement things.
Some changes, right? See, I'll tell you. Change divides in two categories. One is no impact, another one is impact. If it is no impact based changes, right, without service down on the live itself, we can do it. But
Okay.
if there is any
So,
changes which has impact, obviously will definitely require a downtime. So
okay.
it
The question
depends
why
upon the
I'm
change
asking
what we are
here,
performing.
without a downtime, why I'm asking here, in the physical server, if you remember in some 10 years before what we worked, the production server is gone down, then the DR site will be up, and the DR site will be taking care of all the requests, and DR site will respond all the database requests, all the requests whatever it needed. So same thing like in Kubernetes, how we configure. In case, just in case, like how we configure like a DR.
Yeah, Kubernetes will not go for DR concept. DR, will only applicable when you have a web application, any database server or any kind of server. So coming to Kubernetes, right? By default, it has a mechanism when any node failure, any old node you created 10 years back or 5 years back, if the node is failure, right, due to any reason, the Kubernetes itself, AWS EKS will reprovision with the new node. It will replace. It will become automatically part of my cluster. So whatever the pod is running on top of the failure node will automatically recreate in the next available node. Okay, this is how the design of Kubernetes. So here will not create any dedicated system for DR. Even if you create DR also, the pod whatever running here, right, that will not move to that another DR server. That there is no technically not possible. There is no provision for that. That's how Kubernetes has been designed in such a way. If node goes failure due to any reason, it will automatically bring up another node. It will become part of my node group. So it will be added as one of the worker node in my Kubernetes. So whatever the pod was failured from my failured node, right, will be recreated on any next available node in the cluster. This is the backend functionality.
Okay.
For other application, you can, of course, you can go with the DR. Even we discussed about DR in our AWS DevOps class. Through Lambda, we updated. But for Kubernetes, it's not really matters. So we supposed to have it as in the high availability form. So I'll share this document with you guys. All right. So I have a very good handy document. It's very useful to you actually. So go ahead and try all these. Very easy. It hardly takes you 1 hour if you sit properly, if you practice on. Very easiest document. I made it very, I nailed it literally. Step by step, I have given purple color is the command what you have to run. Okay, I give a description. You can read the description. You can practice by your own. Also, I'll update the video. So if you have any doubt, reach out to me. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, practice it. Almost we have completed everything. Only ingress part is pending, and this one rollback access control that is pending. Maybe I can complete that on coming week.
So, Ari, also you also told that some troubleshootings in the Kubernetes, their day-to-day work when there are some troubleshootings, how we
I'll
can.
tell you, not an issue. Troubleshooting, we have already completed one session. Which session it would be? 1 second. Day-to-day activity, I'll tell you. On last class, by default, I'll tell you. It's not an issue. See, not this one. Sorry. Okay, I'll tell you that as well. No issue. No problem. Yeah.
There are a list of troubleshootings. I read through some documents where.
Yeah. Frequently facing issues, I will give you.
Yeah, this actually helps all the people who were searching for a job. These are the questions which mostly asked.
Yeah, that's fine. That's by default. We'll share your document for that. We'll discuss about it.
Okay.
Fine. 98% completed, guys. So few things only left then and there. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, we'll complete that as well. So this Saturday, Sunday, practice that out. Anytime, reach out to me if you have any doubt or question or any clarification. So I'll be, helping you out when in case of any issues. All right. So that is one thing, and yeah, that's good. We'll connect back by two things like Monday. We'll connect back. Okay. Thank you all. Then take care, everyone.
Thank you, Ari.